It took me 3 weeks to track down the kiddie porn ring's main warehouse. The bus was all set to go. Robin and I were in hiding, waiting for our police backup. Suddenly, my partner runs out of patience. That's the way it goes sometimes with the best laid plans of mice and men. Robin, what do you think you're doing?
What I was trained to do. Gonna kick some tail.
I should have known something like this would happen. Robin Jason Todd had been acting oddly of late. Very moody, resentful, reckless. That attitude is about to get him killed. I bring my entire 210 pounds down on them, hard. There'll be some serious hospital time in their immediate futures. I try to take it a little easier on the other gunsels. No traction for these guys, just a need for extensive dental work. I've lost my taste for the whole affair by the time I reach the last pornographer. I toss him to Robin. Let the boy finish him off. He obviously has a dangerously high level of aggressive energy to work off. I try to keep my temper in check. I remind myself Jason's just a kid.
Well, that takes care of those creeps.
What the devil was that all about? Didn't I tell you to hold up?
Yeah, I heard you. But we had the goods on these lowlifes. I didn't see any reason to wait. There were only 8 of them.
Don't you understand? There are procedures even we have to follow. I promised to let Gordon in on the bust. You jumped the gun. What's worse, you nearly got yourself killed doing it.
Near misses don't count.
What do you think we're doing here? Playing some game.
Of course, all life's a game.
When I get home to Wayne Manor a couple of hours later, I find Robin's not yet returned. In a way, I'm relieved. It gives me the chance to talk with my oldest friend.
I think I've made a terrible mistake, Alfred. The kid's losing it. He dived into those thugs like someone looking to die.
I've been noticing some disquieting things about Master Jason myself. The lad avoids talking about his parents lately.
I've come upon him several times, looking at that battered old photograph of his mother and father, crying. When he's seen me, he's hidden the picture and left the room, refusing to talk. In other words, I may have started Jason as Robin before he had a chance to come to grips with his parents' deaths.
Being your partner is not exactly the best situation for a teenager adjusting to such a loss.
Then I must try to rectify the situation. Jason's going off active duty immediately.
And I don't have a thing to say about it, huh?
How long have you been standing there, Jason?
Long enough. You can't be serious about this.
I most definitely am. You're in no shape emotionally to be on the streets.
I can't believe this.
I haven't made this decision capriciously, Jason. A person's got to have his head screwed on right for this line of work. You're hurting, kid. You've got a lot of anger and pain inside of you. It's going to take time for you to get rid of it. Let me help you work this out. We can start by talking about your parents.
You want to talk. Talk to Alfred.
For years, I tried to talk to Arkham Asylum into tightening up its security. It's adequate for your run-of-the-mill psychopathic killer, but for someone like the Joker, well...
Apparently the Joker was able to gain access to the janitor's storage room. It never occurred to anyone that he might be able to mix up a version of that lethal laughing gas of his, using only common cleaning agents. He then simply walked out the front door, leaving 8 men dead in his wake. The killing never stops with him. I've put out an APB on the Joker and have alerted the Justice League and the Titans.
Good. Everyone's going to want a piece of the Joker after what he did to Barbara, but I hope to come across him first.
I doubt he'll remain on the loose very long this time. Not with every law enforcement agency in the country making him their #1 priority.
Then the Joker went to Gotham riding on a crime wave, stuck a knife in Batman's back and sent him to a cold grave.
Joker, you're hot as an oven. I think maybe you should lay low for a while.
I'm well aware of that, Rupert. I happen to be crazy, not stupid. The Joker knows when it's time to take a vacation. Unfortunately, this will have to be a working vacation. The authorities have been busy seizing most of my hidden assets during my latest stay at amiable Arkham Asylum. Fortunately, they weren't able to unearth all my buried treasures. Here's something I was saving to break up the boredom of some future rainy afternoon. My very own cruise missile.
Jason's into his third hour of walking, trying to let off steam. I wonder if he even notices where he's going. My guess is that he'll end up somewhere in his former neighborhood. Crime alley. He might even find himself by his old homestead. The apartment building he once shared with his own dead parents. If that happens, the memories will hit hard. It won't be easy for him, but it might be for the best. The boy's got a lot of sorrow to work out of his system. Her name was Catherine Todd, a good woman who probably loved her son deeply, only wanted the best for him. Willis, Todd probably loved Jason also. Maybe that's why he drifted into crime, hoping to give his son a better life. The poor fool realized too that those kind of shortcuts never pan out. Catherine Todd's life was cut short by a disease that just didn't care how much love she had in her heart. Jason's dad fell victim to the vicious gangster he was working for, Two-Face. That left Jason an orphan, living in an abandoned building when I found him. Thought I had his best interests at heart when I rushed him into training to be the new Robin. Guess you know what they say the path to hell is paved with.
You're young Jason Todd, aren't you?
Yes.
Then come up here. I've got something for you.
Hello.
Come in. Come in.
You were a friend of my mother's. Mrs. Walker, wasn't it?
That's right. How you been doing?
Getting by?
You kind of disappeared right after your mother died.
Juvenile authorities were looking to put me in a state home. Didn't want to go.
Can't blame you for that. But when no one claimed your family's possessions, the landlord sold them off. I was able to save this stuff for you, in case you ever came back. Afraid it's a little water damaged. Darn leaky roofs. The owner's too cheap to fix them.
Photographs. Personal papers.
Thought it'd be stuff you might like to have.
This is terrific. How can I ever thank you?
Ain't nothing. Now I gotta shoo you out of here, lad. Got shopping I gotta do. Now, take care of yourself, son.
Gaspar Taylor is a known associate of the Joker's. The address I have on file for him is a transient's hotel on the Lower East Side. Looks like I arrived just in time. Going somewhere, Gaspar. Almost forgot what fast reflexes Gaspar has. Guess I'm letting my worries about Jason get in the way of my performance on the job. You can't afford to get sloppy in this line of work. Might end up dead. That realization causes me to overcompensate. I take Gaspar down too hard. He'll be out for hours. I came here for information. I'll not be getting any from Gaspar. But maybe Gaspar's luggage will tell me a tale or two. A passport and a visa for Lebanon. Interesting. I spent the next few hours trying to track down more of the Joker's former henchmen. No luck. They all seem to have disappeared. All vacationing in Lebanon, maybe. When I phoned home, I learned that Jason has finally returned. Alfred informs me that he went directly to his room, requesting he not be disturbed. Photographs are a bridge to the past. Black and white reminders of the way things used to be. Links to those who are no longer with us. Priceless treasures. The box also contains some of his parents' personal papers. A deed for an acre of land in Virginia. A lapsed insurance policy. Some of the papers are his own. Old grade school report cards. His birth certificate, which contains a gut-wrenching surprise. There's his own name on it. Jason Peter Todd, just as it should be. There's his father's name. All correct and proper. The trouble lies with his mother's name. Jason's mother's name was Catherine, not S something. Her last name's Water, damaged, smeared, unreadable. S. Who? How? Why? It must take him some time before he accepts the truth. As impossible as it seems, he finally grasps the realization that Catherine Todd wasn't his real mother. But then who was? How to find out the truth. His mother and father are dead. Can't ask them.
Mother?
Stepmother. A bitter realization. His real mother is someone he's never met. Someone who may still be alive. There has to be a way to find out. I taught the boy how to be a detective. He uses that skill.
An address book. My father's address book. Look for women whose first names start with an S. There's 3 of them. Only trouble is, these addresses have got to be several years out of date. How do I locate them after all this time? Of course, the computer in the Batcave. Well, it took me all night scouring the system, but I finally found all 3 women. Course, my luck's running true to form. They're all currently out of the country, all in the Middle East and Africa of all places. Charmin Rosen emigrated to Israel in 1982 and currently works for the Israeli Secret Service. Shiva Wusan, a lady with a shadow past, suspected of being a mercenary, operating out of Lebanon at the moment. Dr. Sheila Haywood, working on famine relief efforts in Ethiopia. So what do I do now? Take what I have to Bruce. Ask for his help. No way. I know what he'd say. You're in no shape to be running off on this type of investigation. Besides, Bruce wouldn't care about finding my real mother. All he gets off on is catching crooks. He probably couldn't even understand why I'd want to locate the woman. This job's all mine. Can't depend on anyone for help. Course I have to thank Bruce for financing my little adventure. Very thoughtful of him to provide me with all this plastic gold. Feel kind of shabby running off like this. Bruce and Alfred have been real kind to me. But I guess I really don't have much choice in the matter, do I? I mean, she's my mom. I'll have a rum and coke.
First class or not, you don't look ripe enough for rum. How about a straight Coke instead?
Sounds great. I'm on my way, Mom.
I tumble upon the Joker's warehouse hideout just before dawn. No one's home. Looks like he left in a hurry. Left a real mess behind. An interesting mess, though. Sophisticated tools and a Geiger counter. Tire tracks on the floor. A heavy-duty truck. I recognize the tread's design as a type only the military uses. I flip on the Geiger counter knowing what I'll find. Every fiber of me is hoping I'm wrong. I'm not. The room's background radiation count is still within the safe range, but much higher than it should be. It all comes together for me. A nuclear device in the hands of that madman. The mind boggles at the possible uses he'd put it to. But why Lebanon? Of course. The lunatic's broke. The government's seizing every asset of his they can locate. He's going to sell whatever it is he has. Probably to terrorists. Fortunately, my association with the Justice League will grease the way for me over in Lebanon. Might as well take advantage of being part of an internationally recognized organization. My contacts over there as Bruce Wayne, millionaire, will also come in handy.
Master Bruce, I'm so glad you returned.
What's the trouble, Alfred?
I just found this in young Jason's room a short while ago.
What?
It's a farewell note. Jason has run away.
Choices. Do I stay in Gotham to live up to my responsibilities as the boy's guardian? Or do I go after that madman and his nuclear weapon? It's painfully obvious which path I must choose. The question is, how will I ever be able to live with this decision? The northwestern Mediterranean coast of Lebanon. Before coming here, I checked in with Ralph Bundy, a friend of mine at the CIA. That's how I found out about the hijacked C-130 transport plane. The plane had fallen into the hands of a Shiite extremist group, who refuses to give it back to Uncle Sam. So I made a deal with Bundy. I'd fix it so his naval commands could fly it out of here. If I got to examine the plane before it took off, I've a fairly good idea who flew it here. The dead naval pilot in the cockpit confirms my suspicions. This is the Joker's handiwork, all right. My mini Geiger counter shows me that there's a high background radiation count in the loading bay. Whatever nuclear devices that my old enemy has acquired. Its warhead is leaking slightly. If the Joker's not careful, he's going to end up with radiation poisoning. I should be that lucky.
We're taking off. You coming?
No. The Joker's gotten this far, which means whoever he's selling the weapon to is in Lebanon. Probably terrorists. Hard to concentrate. I keep wondering where Jason is. I find it hard to believe he took off just because I've temporarily curtailed his duties as Robin. The lad's been acting strangely of late, and I guess I know why.
Since he's not yet adjusted to the death of his parents, he needs time to work out his grief. Time he won't find fighting crime by my side. Wish I could track down the boy and bring him home myself. But this Joker business takes priority. Lives are at stake. But fortunately, Alfred's back home on the job. In fact, it's time I contact him via scrambled satellite relay. Home base. This is El Zul. Any word on the lost bird yet?
Yes, I just completed a computer check on all credit cards issued to our runaway charge. He listed yesterday as a passenger on a late-night flight to Israel.
I'll check it out after I'm done here in Lebanon. Call you again in 12 hours. Over and out. What's he doing in Israel?
I tried to go through channels, play it straight. I really did. But they just plain refused to tell me where Charmin Rosen is. Guess I can understand why. Governments don't willingly give out the locations of their secret agents. Standard procedure? But national security secrets don't cut a lot of ice with me. I just gotta know where Miss Rosen is. The lady may be my real mother. Fortunately, everything's kept on computers these days. Even where to find secret agents, in case you need them. Wouldn't you know it? She's out of the country, undercover in Beirut. At least they've got the hotel she's staying at listed. No direct flights there from here. I'll have to do some plane hopping. Still, should be able to get there by noon tomorrow.
Beirut, a city in turmoil. A capital torn apart by armed, polarized factions, each trying to seize control. Seems everyone's either armed or crippled by the war. You can feel the tension on the streets. This is not a safe place for an American. That's why I'm traveling under a phony Northern Irish passport. Chances are the Joker came to Beirut to contact his customers. It'd be too dangerous even for him to take his prize directly into the Bekaa Valley, where the radical elements are entrenched.
Taxi.
Where to Effendi?
Trouble is, Beirut's a big city. I'm hoping this cabbie can help me.
Take me to the worst section of this city, a place where criminals gather.
Huh?
This is exactly what I'm looking for. Weapon smuggling has got to be this area's leading commerce. Selling information probably runs a close second, but I haven't got time to dicker and bargain. A change of clothes will make it easier to take the direct approach.
Selling black market medical supplies. Just the kind of guy I'm looking for. I can tell by the expression on his face that this is going to be easier than I thought. It's a case of unfamiliarity breeding fear. The guy can't wait to tell me everything he knows. Which unfortunately isn't much. The next 3 characters I talk to aren't any help either. I finally hit pay dirt with number 5.
There is a man staying at the Hotel Blue, offering to sell the object you seek. His name is Brando.
Peter Brando.
Yes.
Thanks. He should be out for a few hours or so. Don't want him reaching Brando before I do. There aren't many hiding places in Lebanon, so what happens next isn't really much of a coincidence.
This is the hotel Charmin Rosen is supposed to be staying at. Guess I just wait here for her to show up. But what then? Do I just walk up and ask her if she's my mother? Guess I haven't really thought this all out yet.
What are you doing here?
Bruce?
I asked you a question.
I'm looking for my mother.
Your mother, Jason, she's dead.
My stepmother's dead, not my real mother.
Jason tells me about finding his birth certificate in a box of his parents' his belongings. He'd discovered his true mother's name was something, not Catherine. He'd found 3 women in his father's address book whose first name started with an S. He'd even tracked them down using the Batcave computer.
The lady I'm tracking now is Charmin Rosen, an Israeli secret agent. Shiva Woosen, a suspected mercenary, she's in Beirut too, and Sheila Haywood, working on famine relief in Ethiopia. One of them must be my mother.
Not necessarily.
Guess I realize that. But I've got this gut feeling. Besides, with you coming to help me, we'll crack the mystery of who my mother is in no time.
Jason, that's not exactly why I'm here. He listens to me tell about this affair with the Joker. The nuclear threat had to be dealt with first. You understand, don't you?
Sure, Bruce. Nothing glamorous about hunting down a runaway.
Jason, that's unfair.
Who cares?
Look, over there.
That's
Peter Brando.
Charmin Rosen.
Looks like we're working on the same case after all.
They're getting into a car.
This way. I have a Land Rover.
Bruce, they'll spot us following them on a deserted road like this.
No problem. I've something here that will turn us invisible. Get into your Robin outfit.
If we stay far enough back, even if they do see our jet-powered hang gliders, they'll mistake us for birds. It's funny that I decided to bring a spare glider along. Maybe I'm getting precognitive in my old age. Even under these circumstances, it feels good having Jason by my side again. We shadow them into the night as they continue heading south. They finally stop at a camp near the Israeli border. We'll sneak up to the camp by foot from here.
Who's the dame? This is Charmin. She's from Jersey. She's okay. You got my weight on it.
I dismantled and reassembled this firecracker myself, and I guarantee it for 5 years or 50 megatons, whichever comes first.
The missile itself is here, but you will not get your $1 million until I have the key and the launch code.
Of course. Here you go, pal. Pretty anxious to shoot your new toy at Tel Aviv, aren't you? Well, enjoy yourselves. My boys and I will be running along now. Ta-ta!
I don't think so. You will remain here until after we launch the missile. We wish to make sure we haven't bought, how you say, a pig in a poke.
No reason we shouldn't stick around for the countdown. But it can't be him! Not here!
Fire strafe the entire area! No one could have survived that barrage!
He could.
Everybody reload. Find their buddies. I will remain behind to guard the missile.
International cooperation. Arab terrorists and American scum joining forces to kill us. There's a lesson to be learned from this, but Robin and I are a little too busy at the moment to appreciate the situation's geopolitical significance. We take it nice and slow. We whittle their numbers down one at a time. The darkness is our ally. These men depend too much on guns. The feel of cold steel in their hands makes them overconfident, makes them careless. Easy pickings. I hear the sniper rise from behind the rocks. I'm ready to roll out of his line of fire, but end up not having to. Charmin Rosen, Israeli agent, joins the fray.
Whose side are you on, you little tramp? I'm gonna blow your brains out!
No!
I must punch in the coordinates for Tel Aviv.
Brando, get away from my...
The boy's angry cry has made him Brando's target, just as I'm sure he intended. At that range, Brando will cut Robin clean in half. I'll never reach him in time to stop him from firing. No way to save him. No way.
The coordinates are set. Now, all I have to do is push the launch button and...
My God, what happened?
The missile blew up on its launcher.
How?
Obviously, as a nuclear engineer, the Joker makes a good psychotic killer.
We're lucky the warhead didn't detonate along with the rocket. Speaking of the Joker, he escaped again.
My money! Oh, my lovely money! Burned to a crisp.
How'd your people tumble onto the Joker's nuclear fire sale?
I'm afraid that's classified information, but I must thank you. You've done a great service to my country.
Then, how would you like to return the favor?
By answering a question or two.
Such as?
Have you ever been to Gotham City? Ever had a baby there?
Excuse me?
Well, have you...
No, not in Gotham City. Why did you want to know something like that?
Sorry, can't say. That's classified information. But I guess we can at least offer you a lift back to Beirut. Ever flown on a hang glider? Miss Rosen didn't care for the ride. She breathed a sigh of relief when we transferred to the Land Rover. The sun was up by the time we reached Beirut. Nice lady.
But not the right lady, Bruce.
What now?
I'm not going back to the States. I've 2 more women to check out. Shiva Woosen is somewhere in Beirut.
Don't try to stop me from finding her.
Wouldn't think of it. But what if she's not your mother?
Then I try Sheila Haywood in Ethiopia.
Think I'll stick around. Make sure you don't get yourself in trouble.
Suit yourself. Yes, sir. May I help you?
One ticket to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, please.
Yes, sir. Are you on business or pleasure?
Oh, business. I'm going to Ethiopia to open a restaurant.
Lebanon. The Bekaa Valley. The very heartland of Shiite terrorist activity. Robin and I are here on a mission. A very personal mission. This sentry is going to help us reach our goal. He's just the right size. One of my drug-tipped darts will do the job nicely. It'll put him out for at least 6 hours. This is a tricky business we're involved in, dealing with cold-blooded terrorists. Each move must be carefully planned and executed. Death is only a moment's carelessness away. Quickly, get him undressed. Wish I could have handled this job without Jason tagging along, but he's the reason we're here. My hope is that this mission will quiet the angry fires that burn within him. He started getting out of line back in Gotham, taking reckless chances. I quickly realized the problem was that he'd not yet adjusted to the death of his parents. That's why I decided to put Jason on inactive duty temporarily. I wanted to give the boy time to come to grips with his grief. Of course, Jason didn't see it that way. While wandering around town trying to work off his anger at the perceived rejection, Jason ran into a Mrs. Walker, a friend of his parents. She gave him a box containing some of his family's personal papers. The box contained a bombshell, his birth certificate. That's when he discovered his real mother wasn't Catherine Todd. The unreadable name listed under mother started with an S. From his father's address book, he found 3 women whose first names started with an S. He used the Batcave's computer to locate them. There was Sharman Rosen, who'd emigrated and became an Israeli secret agent. Reports had it that Shiva Woosen is a freelance mercenary currently operating in Beirut. Dr. Sheila Haywood was found in Ethiopia working on a famine relief project. Jason ran away from home to discover which of these women is his real mother. I stumbled upon his quest while tracking the Joker to Lebanon. That madman had planned to sell a cruise missile to a group of terrorists. We managed to spoil the Joker's nuclear fire cell and save Sharman Rosen's life in the bargain. But it didn't work out the way we hoped. The Joker escaped, and it turned out Sharman Rosen never had any children. I decided it'd be best if I stuck around to help Jason in his search, especially seeing as how the next lady on this list was the mercenary Shiva Woosen. To save time, I called my CIA contact, Ralph Bundy. Within hours, he was able to tell us where Shiva Woosen could be found. Imagine my delight finding that Miss Woosen was staying at my favorite Beirut dive, the Hotel Blue. But when we asked for her at the reception desk,
Shiva Woosen, haven't you heard? Yes, Woosen was standing right here. All of a sudden, the Will's car pulled up. 4 men with machine guns jumped out. They kidnapped Miss Woosen. Unfortunately, such things are not uncommon in Beirut.
Steady, Jason. We'll find her. In fact, I know just where to look.
when I was tracking down the Joker, I discovered that Beirut's criminal element was just as eager to talk to my Batman persona as their Gotham counterparts always are. The trick is in the way you couch the questions you want answered.
You can find them at Bashar Pass in the Bekaa Valley. I will gladly draw you a map.
And that's how we came to be here, attempting to rescue Shiva Woosen from her radical Shiite captors.
We got company coming.
Terrific. He looks to be just about your size.
Raman, what are you doing there?
Fell down.
How did you do that?
Like this. Hurry up and change. I'll gather up their weapons.
Sheila Haywood. What's up, Doc? Long time no see, Doc.
Who? Joker.
You've come a long way since Gotham. No longer performing illegal operations on teenage girls, are you?
What do you want here, Joker?
Just visiting old friends like yourself, in charge of distribution of medical supplies to these poor, unfortunate souls. It would be a shame if it all came to an end because your superiors learned about your tainted past.
You came all this way to blackmail me?
Afraid so, dearie. Times have been tough, but half a dozen truckloads of medical supplies will put the bang back in my buck.
Huh. The great Joker reduced to hijacking trucks.
Just a victim of Reaganomics, that's me. Unfortunately, the world runs on money. To stay in the game, I need oodles of cash. And you're going to help me get it, Sheila dear.
Well, doesn't look like I have much choice.
None whatsoever.
I count 20 men in the camp, all armed to the teeth. We've got to take them all out before anyone realizes there's an enemy amidst their numbers. It's going to take every ounce of stealth we possess to pull this off without being discovered. Psst.
Huh? Ramen, is that you?
Part of me is bothered by how smoothly this is all going. I don't like it when it gets too easy. It makes me nervous, waiting for that other shoe to drop.
What do you suppose is in here?
Let's check and find out.
Wow, enough explosives here to level a major city.
We'll have to do something about them on our way out of here.
Ah!
Oof! How about Raman? Aren't you supposed to be on guard duty?
Yes, definitely much too easy. I think he's the last one.
Don't see anyone else. Greetings, Abdul.
My name's not Abdul. Who are you?
Just someone who wants to know where Shiva Woosin is.
And you expect me to tell you?
You better, cause if you don't, that man standing behind you with a machine gun will blow your brains out.
She's in the tent in the center of the camp.
Thanks.
Figure anyone's in there with her?
Let's play it like there is.
Why don't we lose these duds while we're at it?
Okay, I don't see any further need for these disguises.
Terrific. I think I may have company in here with me.
We take the tent by the numbers. I'm still concerned about the ease of this operation.
She's gone?
The tent's empty, just as I half expected.
You don't think they've killed her, do you?
No, she's around here somewhere. I knew taking this camp went too easily. These weren't seasoned veterans we faced. Real pros wouldn't have allowed themselves to be caught so flat-footed. I think what we've stumbled upon is a terrorist training camp. And I've got a pretty good idea who the head instructor around here is.
It is a wise man who refuses to allow his ego the ability to blind him to the truth.
She obviously moves like the evening breeze to take Jason out so effortlessly. Lady Shiva, we meet again. You seem to have weathered your captivity well.
Please, spare me your sarcasm. Batman, you've already figured out that I was hired to train this mob of malcontents.
You didn't do much of a job of it.
I've only been at it for 3 days. Give a lady a chance. But I suppose I should thank you for assisting me in this endeavor. Your clandestine assault clearly defined the areas I'll have to work on with this group.
Then you were in hiding, watching all along.
Of course. It was very informative. You weren't killing my pupils off, so I saw no reason to interfere. Until now.
Listen, we didn't come here looking for a scrap. Robin and I just want to ask a question or two.
I don't care about the whys of your visit. The fact that you are here is enough for me.
Oh no, not again.
When last we met, I was not able to put your prowess to a proper test. A chance to test one's skills against such talents is indeed rare.
It's a lot like being a gunfighter in the Old West. When you're the best, every jerk and his sister wants a crack at your title.
I can't let an opportunity as golden as this pass by.
Sorry, lady. I'm just not in the mood for this. She's better than good. I didn't even see that sidekick coming. Shiva's easily got the hitting power of Ra's al Ghul and the speed and agility of the Sensei. I suddenly realize I've got a real fight on my hands. If I don't start taking this lady seriously, I could end up dead. Getting rid of those distracting nunchakas should help. That ought to take the wind out of her sails. She can take it as well as dish it out. As hard to believe as it seems, this Shiva Woosin appears to be my equal in the martial arts. My only hope is to come in close and see if I can outmuscle her.
What hit me? What's this? Batman and Shiva fighting? They're trying to kill each other. Gotta get into this, but who do I help? Bruce, the man who took me off the streets and gave me a home? Or Shiva, the woman who might be my mother?
I see what the lad's up to and turn on the pressure to keep Shiva from sensing his approach.
Yeah.
I take full advantage of the situation and hit her with everything I got. I'm amazed when she doesn't go under from the punishment I deal her. From somewhere deep within, she draws the strength to make a last-ditch effort at regaining the offensive. It's just not enough. I end it as mercifully as I can. Cuff her and be ready to take off as soon as I get back.
What are you up to?
Going to introduce the concept of the 4th of July to our playmates. I tossed all the Shiites into a ditch before setting the time-delayed charge in the ammo storage unit. The Scorpions will awaken alive with only their stingers pulled. Once we're about 2 miles from the camp, I decide it's time to interrogate Ms. Woosen. Time to answer a few questions, lady.
And if I choose not to answer them?
You've no choice in this matter, Shiva.
I always have a choice.
Not this time. Have you ever had a baby?
A baby? Certainly, I've had dozens of babies. I've dropped litters in every corner of the globe.
Knowing who we'd be dealing with, I foresaw facing a certain lack of cooperation. So I brought along a solution to the problem. Sodium pentothal. Truth serum. Every fiber of my being is revolted by the thought of what I'm about to do. It won't stop me, though. That's the biggest trouble with this line of work. You can't always get the job done and remain a hero in your own eyes. Shiva, did you ever have any children?
No.
We stuck around until the effects of the drug wore off.
She's on her feet. Let's hit the road.
You planning on dragging me along?
No, unfortunately. Training terrorists is not against the law in this country. You're free to go.
But you're planning on leaving me bound up like this, aren't you?
With your abilities, you'll have yourself free and be on your way back to civilization within the hour. We'll be halfway to Beirut by then. One go-around with you was plenty for me, Shiva.
Our paths will cross again.
Too bad. Would she have been the type of mother you'd want to have?
Of course not. Still, it's kind of a disappointment.
Sounds to me like Sheila Haywood would make a much better candidate.
Yeah, so let's get our tails in gear. Ethiopia, here we come.
An Ethiopian refugee camp just outside Magdala. The misery has returned. Once again, the world didn't listen in time. The same mistakes were repeated. Starvation and death cast a long shadow over this land. The refugees flock into the camps by the thousands each day. It's utterly heartbreaking. When I return to Gotham, I'll send out another check to help the effort and try to forget what I've seen here. I'm no different from anyone else. There's only so much even Bruce Wayne and Batman can do. These grim surroundings momentarily cause me to forget the real reason we're here. But one look at Jason Todd's features bring it all back to me. We've come to find his real mother. We have one last candidate to interview. As soon as I see her, I know we've hit pay dirt. Jason's got her eyes.
Dr. Haywood, excuse me. I'm...
Bruce Wayne? I recognize you from my days in Gotham. Excuse me, it's not every day we get a billionaire wandering around a refugee camp.
I'd like to introduce you to a young friend of mine. His name's Jason Todd.
Todd? Oh my God! Jason!
Mom? Mom? Mom! Mom!
I can see that this revelation has floored Dr. Haywood. It's going to take her some time to get used to the idea of being a mother again. The look in her eyes is my cue to exit.
Think I'll leave you two alone to get to know each other. I'll stop back in a couple of hours to find out what your plans are, Jason.
I drive off, wondering if I've just lost another partner.
I was a struggling med student when I met and fell in love with your father. Shortly after you were born, I was involved in an operation. It didn't go well. That ended my medical career in the States. Your father was supposed to join me when I settled in England, but by that time he'd fallen in love with another woman. I thought they could take better care of you, Jason. I was on the run, not sure what I was going to do. I'm sorry. It must have been rough on you.
It must have been hard for you, too.
I managed. My work helped me get through. Speaking of work, you're going to have to excuse me for a little while, Jason. It's camp business. I can't get out of it. Wait outside. I'll be done in an hour.
Okay.
So that's the business that couldn't wait. I wonder who...
Hey, watch where you're going.
Holy cow. The Joker. Going into Mom's tent. What is he up to?
This calls for some eavesdropping.
This isn't going to be easy to cover up.
All I care about is getting my hands on those 6 loads of medical supplies. How you arrange it is your problem, sweetie. Just remember, if I don't get the goods, your superiors will get the news that you never learned how to cut along the dotted line.
The Joker blackmailing my mother into helping him on a hijacking. This is terrible. Worse still, they're taking off in his Jeep. How do I follow them? A motorcycle. Someone upstairs is obviously looking out for me.
I say, that's my motor scooter. Come back here.
Looks like the Joker's met up with the rest of his gang. Guess now they'll be heading to the warehouse where the medical supplies are kept.
They're filled with a mixture of my lethal laughing gas. As soon as one of your bleeding heart social workers opens it up, Addis Ababa will be Addis Bye-bye.
This looks like a job for Batman and Robin.
Bruce.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
What's going on, Jason?
We've got Joker trouble.
Looks like we made it back just in time. There goes the Joker's convoy now.
No. The Joker's trucks had covered cargo areas. These trucks are open flatbeds. They've got to be famine relief workers taking a load of supplies to a refugee outpost.
We've got to warn them about the deadly cargo they're carrying. They'll be on the main highway in a moment. By the time we reach the road, they'll have too big of a head start on us.
Guess so. That Land Rover wasn't made for high-speed chases.
But this minicopter is. You stay here and keep an eye on that warehouse until I return. Take no action until I get back. I repeat, no action. Just for once. Please listen to me, Jason. Don't tangle with the Joker alone. Wait for me to get back, please. That madman's just too dangerous for you to handle. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Just hurry back.
Sorry, Bruce, but that's my mother in there with that lunatic. Mom.
Oh, Jason.
We've got big trouble, Mom. I know all about it. The Joker, everything.
I don't know what you're talking
Look, play straight with me. I can help you.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
There's a lot about me you don't know.
What? That costume under your jacket? You're? Come with me.
Wait! The Joker?
He's long gone. There's nothing to worry about, but I've got something to show you.
What's going on?
Come on into the back room and it'll all make sense.
Bird boy! What a delicious denouement.
But I thought you said he was...
I lied. You see, I can't afford to have you stirring up trouble. I've been dipping into the medical funds myself. If you blow the whistle on the Joker, I get hauled up in the net too.
Nothing like a little dysfunction at a family function.
What should we do with him?
Oh, something I've wanted to do for years. Come now, bird boy. You're not going to sleep on me already, are you? The party's just started.
Then let's boogie.
That wasn't very nice hitting, Uncle Joker. You've been a bad boy. Prepare yourself for a severe spanking, young man. But let me tell you right from the start, this is going to hurt you a lot more than it does me.
I'm pushing the minicopter to the limit. I'm already regretting leaving Jason behind. Something deep inside me is screaming that that was the wrong move. I should have had him come after the convoy, but he'd have only refused to leave his mother. I didn't have any choice, really. Suddenly, things go from bad to worse. The troopers guarding the convoy mistake me for a hijacker. One of them gets lucky on his first shot. The bullet takes out my main hydraulics in an oil line. Time to bail out. Fortunately, I find a nice, soft, trigger-happy soldier to land on. I take out the other one with a drug-tipped dart.
You're the Batman, aren't you?
And you're in terrible danger. I explain the situation in record time. Just unload the boxes, and leave them for the army to deal with. I need to borrow one of your trucks right away. Damn the loss of that copter. It's going to take me at least 20 minutes to get back to the warehouse in this heap. I pray I'll be in time. Please, Jason, wait for me.
My, that was fun. Messy, though.
What's Batman gonna do when he finds out what you've done to his little friend?
I hadn't thought of that. He's a vengeful one, that Batman. This could get sticky. Maybe it would be best if I didn't leave behind any evidence of my presence. Too bad you had to witness this little display of my temper, Sheila. Boys?
What? Get your hands off me, Joker! Joker!
Tie her to that pole, fellas. Tie her real tight.
Oh, it won't work, Joker. They'll know it's you from the slaughtered refugees.
Maybe the authorities will think the refugees died from something disagreeable they ate. It doesn't matter. There won't be any direct evidence connecting me to Bird Boy's death. And that's one of the most fascinating aspects of my oh-so-delightfully opposite number. That righteous boob insists on solid evidence before going nova. Lucky for me, I never go anywhere without bringing along at least one explosive device. Like this one. Ooh, I'm so mad, I'll blow my fuse in 90 seconds. Whoops! Make that 87 seconds. Ha ha! Ta-ta!
Joker, come back! This isn't fair! I played straight with you! Jason? Oh my god, you're still alive.
Alive.
1 minute to showtime, kiddies!
The bomb. Jason, deactivate it.
In no shape. Get you out.
Hurry! Untie the ropes! Hurry!
Blood in my eyes. I can't see.
Oh boy! Only 30 seconds now! The suspense is killing me! I know it'll kill you.
There. Free. Run.
Oh, you bet I will. Oh, come on, let me help you. We'll get out together.
Ribs. Shoulder gone.
Almost. To the door.
I'm only minutes away from the warehouse when I spot them. Even at this distance, I recognize the Joker at the wheel of the Jeep. Do I go after the lunatic, or return to the warehouse to see if Jason's all right? I opt for the warehouse.
10, 9, 8, 7. All bad doctors go to heaven.
We're there. Hold on, Jason. I'll get the door.
6, 5, 4. Good luck opening the door.
What?
The door! It's locked! The Joker locked us in here.
Jason! Oh my god. Oh my god, no. Jason, where are you? I warned you not to take on the Joker by yourself. I begged you to wait, Jason, but of course you didn't. You never listened. Why? Why? Why didn't I see that you were too young for this kind of work? How could I have been so stupid? It's just that I felt so adrift when I lost Dick Grayson as a partner. The Batman needed a Robin, but that was a different, less dangerous time. I guess the truth is that I was lonely. Didn't want to go it alone. So what do? I bring a young innocent into this mad game. I must be insane. Jason, what happened here? Just what do you think you're doing? He was ripping off the tires on the Batmobile. That's what. This is how Jason Todd and I first met. He was living on his own in an abandoned apartment building. The kid was getting by boosting tires. His mother had just recently died, and his father had disappeared, possibly been thrown in jail. At least, that's what we thought at the time. So in a moment of sentimental lunacy, I took the boy in and revealed to him that Bruce Wayne was the Batman. I thought I'd found my new Robin. Jason took to the training like a fish to water. He was quick and intelligent. It was like training Dick again. But this kid had a rebellious streak in him. I told myself he'd work it out of his system in time. Yes, I blinded myself to so much. Jason and I were going to be a great team. That was all that mattered. The dynamic duo had been reunited. We were going to set crime in Gotham City on its ear. But right from the start, there was trouble. This new Robin came with an overload of emotional luggage. My investigations soon uncovered the fact that Jason's father had worked for the gangster Two-Face. Worse yet, it appeared that Two-Face had killed him for failing in some assignment. Then I made the blunder of filing this information in the Batcave's computer. So many mistakes.
Yes, I found it. How could you keep this secret from me?
Of course, after that, our top priority was tracking down and busting Two-Face's game. My worst fear was that Jason wanted more than justice for his father's death. I was afraid that he was out for blood. But then the moment of truth came. Circumstances put Two-Face at the boy's mercy. Jason walked away. He let Two-Face's punishment be determined by the law. I was so proud of the lad. I thought at last everything would be okay. But things didn't work out. Jason's confrontation with Two-Face gave him no peace. He began to have dark moods and got more rebellious. It became increasingly difficult to keep the boy under control. He'd disobey orders. Then Jason started taking unreasonable risks. I had no choice. I placed the boy on inactive duty. He didn't like it. That's when things went from bad to worse. That's when Jason found out about his mother. Gone. The pain is all behind her. One look tells the story. There's no need to check for a pulse. But I do anyway. Nothing. I've lost him. He's already getting cold to the touch. Gone.
I am a member of the Iranian Secret Service.
My. Now what would one of the Ayatollah's boys want with little old me?
My country has an offer to make to you, Mr. Joker. An offer you would be wise not to refuse.
I remove what little remains of Jason's costume that could have identified him as Robin before calling the authorities. They've got a million questions. This takes up most of the day. Bruce Wayne patiently answers their every inquiry.
No, I don't know what caused the explosion. Maybe something they had stored there. The victims' names were Sheila Haywood and Jason Todd. They were mother and son. Yes, I'll see to having the bodies flown back to the States for burial. I'll take care of everything.
The cops continue their search for the cause of this tragedy, evidence I've already removed from the scene. Let them write it off as an accident. There's no reason for them to be involved. This is a personal matter. It's something the Joker and I should have settled between us a long time ago.
I don't locate the warehouse the Joker used until the following night. I know he'll be long gone from here. But it's got to be checked out anyway. The Joker may have left a clue to his whereabouts, along with the bodies of his discarded henchmen. I'll never get used to the rigored smiles of the Joker's victims. I hit the jackpot, but not because of any deductive reasoning on my part.
I take the Joker at his word and head home. Sheila and Jason accompany me in the plane's cargo bay. There's not a big turnout for the funeral.
Though I walk through the valley...
Had no idea how to contact any of Sheila's old friends, and Jason's life was too short for his passing to cause many ripples. You see, the world doesn't know that the new Robin is dead. That's the way it has to remain, if I want to maintain a secret identity. Yeah, I know that's cold, but that's how it's going to be. It's a mean, cruel world out there.
Should I get in touch with Master Dick, Master Bruce?
No, Alfred. I'll handle this by myself. No help from now on. That's the way I want it.
In Gotham City, there's a deli, drugstore, newsstand, and department store on the corner of 42nd and 1st. It's highly unlikely that's where the Joker wants to meet. In Metropolis, there's 2 parking lots, Another deli and an office building on those corners. No, but in New York City, the United Nations Plaza. This has got to be it. The Joker wanted me to know he was coming to the UN. But why? What is he planning? I've got to find something to tell me what that madman's up to. Then, Joker, it'll just be you and me. I've excused the evil you've done in the past because of your insanity. I'll not make that mistake again.
Batman!
Superman, what are you doing here?
The State Department asked me to stop by.
Why?
Because they guessed you'd be here.
How did they know that?
The Iranian government informed them that you might show up to cause trouble.
Superman, what's going on here?
This is not going to be easy to explain, Batman. I'm not sure I understand how it all came about myself. Iran has a new ambassador to the UN showing up today. The State Department checked. It's all legitimate and by the book. So it seems this man now has complete diplomatic immunity. That means no one can arrest him for any crimes in this country. The police can't touch him. Neither can you. This immunity also covers any violations of the law he might have committed before being appointed to the post. I'm sorry, Batman. That's the way it works. We have to go along with this madness. Diplomatic immunity is a two-way street. If we don't honor Iran's rights in this matter, there's no reason for them to respect ours.
I didn't know they ever did, or did you just forget how they took over our embassy a few years back?
If you try anything, Batman, it could cause an international incident. I'm here to talk sense to you, but if that doesn't work...
Who's the ambassador?
Why don't you just go home?
Who?
There's nothing you can do here.
Who? Who?
Oh! Feel better now.
Think I broke a couple of knuckles.
No, but they're badly bruised. You're lucky I rolled with that punch. You could have crippled yourself. I can't believe you actually did that, Batman. What's eating you?
When does this new ambassador arrive?
That's him, pulling up to the curb now. Batman, don't do anything stupid.
No. No. No.
Oh! Isn't this touching? My old pals Super Ham and Batpest have come here to congratulate me. It's true, guys. I'm the new Iranian ambassador to the UN. See ya, boys.
His name's Ralph Bundy, a CIA agent. The president sent him to talk to me. I already know what he's going to say, but I listen anyway.
It's like this, Batman. You take out the Joker and it's going to cause a major international incident. The State Department's currently in the middle of some very delicate negotiations with Iran.
Another arms for hostages deal.
That's none of your business. Guys like us should just do our jobs and let the big shots do theirs. They know what's doing and they say hands off Iran's new UN ambassador. Understand. The Joker's got diplomatic immunity. State doesn't want anyone messing with him. Especially you.
You can't be serious. The Joker's a homicidal maniac. They only made him ambassador so he can kill someone. Probably the entire UN General Assembly.
We've got no hard evidence to prove that until we do. The Joker has to be treated like any other delegate.
The attitude is as insane as the Joker himself.
Maybe, but that's the way it is.
Not for me, it isn't.
Afraid so, pal. The president has asked this gentleman to keep you in line. You misbehave, he'll slap you down.
Is that how it is?
I'll do what I have to.
So you two work it out. I got a plane to catch back to Washington. Try not to kill each other, okay?
Batman. Bruce, I read on the telex about your ward, Jason Todd, being killed in an Ethiopian warehouse fire. Was he Robin?
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. He seemed like a really nice kid.
He was. Jason was the best. The Joker murdered him.
But the Joker's immunized from retribution for that, and any other crime that he's ever committed.
That's the law, not justice.
Don't do anything stupid, Bruce. You can't put your thirst for vengeance above your country's best interest.
Spare me your Boy Scout sentimentalities, Kent. To use your own words, I'll do what I have to. Maybe, with a little luck, we'll not find ourselves at cross purposes.
I wonder why I always have the feeling he knows something I don't.
Back in my hotel room, I see what my federal contacts can do about getting me into the General Assembly as Bruce Wayne. My reputation as a playboy dilettante keeps me from obtaining a position as a delegate, but they managed to squeeze me in as an unofficial observer. Now I can keep an eye on the Joker without making the State Department nervous. The fools. Looks like this is it. The final showdown between the Joker and myself. Guess I always knew it would someday come to this. One of us is going to die. But is that really what I want to see happen? The man's hopelessly insane. How can I hold him responsible even for what happened to Jason? Or am I just looking for a cop-out? Admit it, Wayne. The Joker's come close to finishing you off dozens of times. Too close. You're still not back to total efficiency after that encounter you had with Deacon Blackfire. You're too emotionally involved. Not thinking straight. Maybe it'd be best to let Superman handle this. That way you won't do something you'll regret for the rest of your life. But he murdered Jason. The lights are still burning in the windows of the Iranian mission to the UN. I'm sure the ambassador is up. He's rumored to be an insomniac.
24 little hours until my big speech. I can't wait! It'll be a gas.
Don't do it, Joker.
Batsy! What a surprise to find you on my windowsill.
I'm giving you one last chance. Return to Arkham Asylum and turn yourself in.
And if I don't, what are you going to do about it? Let your assistant handle it, hmm? Oh, I wish I could have seen your face when you found what was left of that brat. Sent you off the deep end, didn't it? Hmm?
You always know exactly the wrong thing to say, don't you?
That's what makes me so special.
Very well. Have it your way. I'll be seeing you around, by the way. Thanks.
What for?
Up until now, I wasn't absolutely certain that you were responsible for what happened to Jason. Your confirming it makes what I have to do a lot easier.
Oh, so that's how you want to play the game. It's 3 against 1, Bat Boy. You're up against me and my 2 pals, Smith and Wesson. Huh? Gone. Oh, I hate it when he does that.
The UN General Assembly Chamber. This is the august body of men and women the Joker plans to massacre. The powers that be have ordered me to do nothing to stop this slaughter. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Nothing. But afterwards, the Joker is mine.
You picked a great day to start as an observer, Bruce. The Joker's speaking tonight. Far out, hey?
Very. Wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Hey, here he comes now. Will you look at him?
Nice to see you. Ooh, nice tie.
Every eye in the auditorium is locked on him. He truly is magnificent, fascinating. All know that he is death personified. I've lost track of how many he's murdered over the years. But it all ends tonight. No more killings. No more Joker.
He's stopped. What's he staring at?
Does he recognize me? Does he know who I am? I may never know. I'm feeling a terrible sense of finality. We've been linked to each other for so long, neither of us truly understanding the bond. I should have terminated his vile existence years ago. But I didn't. I couldn't. His insanity gained him a stay of execution. But no longer. He's become too dangerous. His crimes too heinous. Jason's dead.
It's a great honor for me to be here tonight. I feel validated. Part of the world community at last. I'm here tonight to address a serious topic. The issue of overpopulation. Let's face it, there are just too many people on the planet. So I've decided to do something about it. Starting right now.
The sheep finally realized they've been led to slaughter. Gas. The Joker's lethal laughing gas. Just as I figured, I don't have to lift a finger to save the day. I knew the Boy Scout wouldn't let me down.
You're too late! There's still enough of my gas to take out these dips!
Don't bet on it.
It's a spectacular sight, him inhaling all that gas, taking it all into his body.
Super Ham? No fair! You're not supposed to meddle in my affairs! Unfair! Unfair!
Batman, he's all yours.
foul!
I've got to find some safe place to get rid of this gas.
I call foul! Somebody cheated. Now everyone has to pay. Luckily, the Joker has a plan B, as in boom!
The Joker obviously had his henchmen plant these explosives earlier in the day. The monster always has a trick up his sleeve. Always another deadly trick.
Not this time, Joker. Give it up. I managed to avoid the deadly fusillade. The delegate behind me is not so lucky. Another innocent sacrifice to the Joker's mania. Wherever he goes, death. Another hapless victim to haunt my sleep. Let there be an end to it. No more. Running will do you no good, Joker. No matter where you flee, I will be right behind you.
Move it! Get us out of here!
No escape. You killed Jason. 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 The panicked Arab's gunfire is indiscriminate, not caring who it strikes. One slug takes off the back of the pilot's head. The gunman immediately realizes his mistake. Not quite the way I imagined the scenario ending. I'll be lucky to escape with my life. Farewell, foe. Find his body. Find his body. But I know they won't. That's the way things always end with the Joker and me. Unresolved.